Think of continuity in Gestalt as an implied line. Don't overthink this. But the challenge becomes, how do we make that implied line interesting? That's our challenge. Now you might go online and find examples, but one that I've seen a lot is a path along a hillside, and this path disappears behind the hillsides. So we have a path that continues but is broken up via our perspective. Now you'll see this example over and over again. You may see a plain dotted line as our example. Again, our challenge is to move beyond this and to make it interesting. So let's look at one example of how to do that. There was a time when I was interested, well, I still am interested in map making and landscape. And I was thinking about, what if I made this chunk of floating rock or land? And so I made this floating island of sorts as a shape. And I've always liked cutting through the soil and seeing the layers or striations in the rock and the soil. And so here I just made these rings around the soil, and just to add some kind of 3D contouring element. But then I wanted this implied line, this dashed line, almost like a really thick ribbon or spike that was being driven through or threaded through this floating island. And I'm just cutting in some dashes here to make that an implied line. And it is also, because there's a gap where that floating soil is, that's also cutting off our view of where the line might go. So our brain is making a connection, because even though it's disappeared, our brain is making that connection because that line is of the same weight and the same type. So again, our challenge is, how do we break up the monotony of a basic dash line? That's your challenge.